Juventus-Fiorentina will be the 25th game of Thiago Motta on the bench of Juventus, and today in press conference he said an important word, a key word according to me, continuity. He said much more than that, some important parts. Today, before the game against La Viola, in our home, the last game of 2024, we'll continue to debrief what he said, also giving you an update about the latest, who will be there, who will not be there, how many chances they have to play. Ragazzi, I waited until now so that I listened to the press conference and that we have complete information for you. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Look, today he said at a certain moment, Dusan Vlahovic, because that was the question about Dusan Vlahovic, improvements, etc., said, look, he must continue to work. It's not the first time that he says that, but he says that for every single player. But then he says, most important thing for a player is continuity. I don't want to speak too much about Dusan Vlahovic, but I want to speak about what he said next, because after that he said big teams and big players, well, they can give continuity. And that's where we are. Continuity. Look, at today, tomorrow is the 25th game of Thiago on the bench of Juve. Only twice we were able to do 2 wins in a row. It was Como and Verona, match day 1, match day 2. After that game 0-0 against Roma. And then we had to wait a bit more. Genoa victory, remember, 0-3 in their home. And then that remontada against Leipzig where we won at the end 3-2. After that, Cagliari 1-1. In Serie A, if you're looking only in Serie A, only one time we were able to do 2 wins in a row, and it was match day 1, match day 2. Tomorrow we play match day 18, which means that something went wrong. If we are speaking about continuity that makes players big, that makes teams big, well, this is exactly what we need. Continuity. Today we have, in the 24 games played, 11 wins, draws 12, only 1 loss. And it's good to have a continuity on not losing a lot. But on the other side, we have too much continuity in drawing. What we lose is continuity in wins. Wins in a row, in a row, in a row. I told you already a long time ago, before the 4 draws in a row that we had against Milan, Aston Villa, Lecce, Bologna, I told you, I will start believing again in the word Scudetto, or speaking about Scudetto again, from the moment that Juventus is able to put 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row. That's the only moment where really I will believe, okay, we can do it. Why not? Today, I don't speak about Scudetto anymore because unfortunately these draws accumulating with the other teams, Atalanta, Lazio, etc., that continue to win, well, it's tough to speak about that. But also in top 4, if we want to enter in a relaxed way in the top 4, continuity will be crucial and key. And this is what I wanted to say about that word continuity that he said today. What we want in terms of continuity, of course, is the goals that we score in a row, consecutive goals, because it's already 6 games that we are scoring in a row. At a certain moment, it was difficult also there to find continuity. We started with 2 games and then we didn't score, 1 game, then we didn't score, 4 games, then we stopped scoring, 5 games, we stopped scoring. At the moment we are at 6, and if tomorrow we score, we go at 7. So that would be extremely also beautiful and important to give continuity to goal scorers. Unfortunately, we are also giving continuity in the goals that we concede, because in Serie A, if we take away that Coppa Italia, it's already 4 games in a row that we are conceding goals. So if we can stop there, that would be beautiful. If we can continue to score, it's also beautiful, because at the end that means if they don't score, if we score, 3 points for Juve, winning the last game of 2024 before thinking about Super Coppa. I don't know if I asked you to put a maximum of like and to subscribe to the channel. If you didn't yet, please now, because now we go towards something else. We go towards the players that are back. Douglas Luiz is back. He didn't speak too much about Douglas Luiz, even if he said, look, it's a player that I believe a lot in, and I hope a lot in. From now on, I hope that we can see him also with continuity. It's a player that is not at the level of the other ones physically at the moment. It's totally normal, because we have some players that play 12, 13, 14 games while he stopped playing for a long time. But it's a player that already showed his qualities. He showed to be a complete and a high-level midfielder. These are the words of Thiago Motta that looks like he's a bit like me. He didn't give up on Douglas Luiz. I want to see him. I want to see him now with continuity, like Thiago Motta said as well. Also for him, like for Dusan Vlahovic, the word continuity is the most important thing. Nico Gonzalez is back. He confirmed that in the last 2 days, so we are speaking about the 27th and 26th, he trained in an isolated way, he trained alone. Why was that? Because after the Monza game, he was suffering a bit of fatigue. We are not speaking about muscle fatigue, but he was suffering a bit of fatigue. It's also totally normal. And they didn't want to take any risk. He will be there tomorrow. He didn't tell us how many minutes he has in his legs, but he will be there with the team tomorrow, which is a really good news. What I learned from that is something super important. I think that Thiago Motta, physical staff, medical staff, they unlocked something super important. Not all players are equal in the way that we manage them, in the way that we ask them to train, in the way that we are asking them intensity in training session. They are different. And Nico Gonzalez, with the injury record that he has, etc., etc., needs to be managed in a different way. If he needs to rest a bit more during training session to be there able to play, well, I think that's an important step ahead, a step towards, okay, understanding all players are different. When we put them in training session and on the game, they need to be managed differently. Some players, they have 90 minutes in a row without suffering them. Some players, they need to be managed with only one half. Other ones, they have 30 minutes, depending on the situation per player. And that's something that I really, really enjoyed seeing. We spoke about Koopmeiners. Koopmeiners is back. We were doubting after the last game against Monza, but he's back without any problem, so he will play tomorrow. But he also added something. He is, at the moment, or he is the player that is taking care of the set pieces, the free kick. So super important. Also, publicly saying the free kick taker is Koopmeiners. A lot of trust has been put on him on that part of football. He says, look, when a player in training session on 5 attempts is scoring 5, and he's doing it every single time, 5 on 5, 5 on 5, 5 on 5. There is no discussion. The field is speaking, and he must take them. Then we have others that are also great in that exercise, like Douglas Luiz and Dusan Vlahovic. These are the 2 other names that he mentioned, but today, Koopmeiners is there. Even if he said he's a generous person. He's a person that is also able to share, and I'm sure that in some moments he will also share it with other ones, but he is the free kick taker number 1. He spoke about Danilo. Danilo is back. He didn't answer about Mercato, about all the rumors, about all the voices. So thank you also for your comments under the video of yesterday. They were really nice. Some people, they said it's a bit harsh. We don't agree with the club. What about the loyalty? What about what they did in the past? It's not okay to treat him like that. Other people in the comment section, they said, was one that was quite funny but confronting. If you are looking for loyalty, buy yourself a dog. Was really funny as a comment, but in a way it's also true. So you have people pro and against. Thiago didn't want to speak about loyalty, didn't want to speak about Danilo on the market. He said, look, when the Mercato will be open, we will manage the Mercato and we'll try to manage it in the best possible way. What about the next defender? Well, we are all aligned with the club. Like I always told you, if we can reinforce the team, we will. If we cannot reinforce the team, we will not. About Danilo, look, another important thing that he said is all the players that are there tomorrow, they are focused on one thing, and it is the game against Fiorentina. The game against Fiorentina, the game against Fiorentina. Nobody knows yet at the moment who will start. At least this is what he said. And he said, before telling you or giving you at least 1 name, 2 names about who will play tomorrow, I prefer first announcing them to the team, and then by consequence, you will maybe know. So we don't know who will start tomorrow. We don't know who will be in the goal. We don't know who will be where Koopmeiners will play. Will he play as a 10? Will he play as a 8? Will Nico Gonzalez play as a 10? We don't know. We don't know, so we'll have to wait until this evening, where probably Giovanni Albanese will tweet or post or speak about the predicted lineups that we can expect for the game of tomorrow. Then, about Fiorentina, there are a few things that he said. Great coach, well-prepared coach, Palladino. He showed it at Monza, he showed it at Fiorentina, and he's showing it. They have good qualitative players, and it's also a team that is super organized. If we let them space, pay attention, because they can play football, and they can be really dangerous in these positive transition. And then he went a bit mad about the word possession, because the stats were showing that possession, Juventus was the first, etc. He said, pay attention. Possession, yes, but looks like you are saying, I only have possession in my mind, which is absolutely not true. It's not the only thing that makes a team win. The possession, a lot of things are needed to win. And he already said it and repeated it I believe 3-4 press conferences ago, this is needed, this is needed, this is needed, this is needed, and if you have all of them, then you can win, or you have more probabilities. Even if he says, look, when you have the possession and you are doing it in the right way, having that ball and knowing what to do, then of course you have more probabilities to win. Versus City, for example, we played in a different way. We didn't keep the possession, but that's how we needed to play against City. Against Fiorentina tomorrow, it will be different because, again, positive transition, if we left them space, so pay attention to Fiorentina, how they play. So we prepared the game, I think, really, really well. And that's important for me because you remember that I was pissed off against Bologna, I was pissed off against Venezia, 2 games that were before and after the Manchester City game where I was not happy. I said these games were not well prepared enough. Well, looks like tomorrow he has prepared that game. He knows also of that sense of revenge. Moiskin, ex-Juve player that didn't score last year. In Serie A, if I'm not wrong, 10 goals already. In all competition this season, 15. He's on fire, so we need to pay attention to him. Gudmundsson will be back. But if we continue to speak about exes, well, there is another ex-player and another ex-coach. Palladino didn't coach Juve, but was there with the youth academy, was there with the first team, Raffaele Palladino, so ex-player of Juve, and also Mandragora. Mandragora that has always, I don't know why, I always had a soft spot for Rolando Mandragora, really good player. He's not a starter anymore in the Fiorentina of Palladino, but it's an important player. Now, the ex-players from Juve against Fiorentina, we know them, only 2. Really strange because sometimes we have even more. If you're looking at the history of Juve, Fiorentina, Juve, there are a lot of players that went from Fiorentina to Juve. Well, tomorrow we have Dusan Vlahovic, and also tomorrow we have Nico Gonzalez. He was a doubt, he is there. He wants to do well, of course. He really wanted to join Juve, so tomorrow is another game where Nico Gonzalez can possibly enter or can start from the game, and I'm sure that we will be able to count on him. Like also Dusan Vlahovic, that will also show that the one that was sub on the bench is not better than him, that he's still the best one. Ragazzi, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you, grazie, forza, Juve.